Good morning. Today what we're going to do is create a shading project using organic shapes, and we're just needing today a paper towel or Kleenex if you have it, a pencil, eraser, and then this paper is about 1/4 of a page, so it's much smaller than what we usually do. And then we're going to do something like this. So it's going to be like almost layers upon layers of different shading, and I'm going to show you how to do this one step at a time. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw 3 to 5 organic shapes on your paper. So organic shapes are shapes that are just kind of free-flowing. They're not necessarily nameable. And you're going to draw them on your paper. I'm not going overlapping. I'm not going off the page. I want to make sure between the shapes is about pencil width, okay? So I've got my 3 shapes, and then what you're going to do with each one of these is shade. And you're just shading around the outside edge and to about, I'd say, 1/2 inch. So right now I'm pressing like medium pressure with my pencil, and then I'm really lightening the pencil pressure as I get towards the center. So I'm barely touching the paper. And I'm gonna kind of move on, pressing a little bit harder on the outside to medium pressure, lifting up my pencil pressure, barely touching it, okay? And I like, when I'm shading, I don't like a sharp pencil. I like it to be kind of rounded like that. I just think it makes for a nicer mark. That's just a personal preference. Going around the edge again. I'm gonna do this for the entire shape. So just around the outer edge is gonna be dark, and then I'm making more of a medium pressure in the middle area, and then very, very light, hardly touching the paper at the end here. And shading is a skill that it takes a lot of practice. The more you do it, the better you'll become. And this is gonna be more of a challenging project than what we've done in the past. I just want you to try your best, okay? So if you only get to stage 1 and just shading in this and practice shading, I'm happy. Okay, and then I like to use my finger to soften it up. They have all sorts of cool tools for that, but finger works great. Now the paper towel will be useful when I move on to another area. Let's say I work over here and there's a shaded area. I can set that over the shaded area so that I'm not, 1, getting a bunch of pencil on my hand, and 2, I'm not smudging my work. And I'm gonna shade the next one. Okay, darker on the edges and lighter, okay? And let's pretend, ta-da, we're finished with that. So I have one that's already shaded. If this is as far as you get, I'm totally happy with that. But I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm gonna look at it as there's another layer or another web below this. So only within the shapes, the organic shapes, not the white spaces, I'm going to draw some more shapes. So I'm gonna have another little curved line. I'm gonna have a little shape here. That's gonna go kind of, I'm not drawing on that. I'm just kind of imagining where it would be. Stop there, that one. Okay, so here's 2 shapes. Let's see, this one, maybe I'm gonna go a little bit in here. Okay, and then that's a shape. So I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. Let me get my pencil, my paper I should say. And this time you're just gonna shade like you did before, darker on the edge, okay? And then medium pressure. And then so very, 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 very light. Okay, you can smudge that. Go to the next one, darker. And notice I'm only coloring within the shapes, okay? Not the white area. So this would be your layer 2. So this is just an added extra. I think it's gonna make it look interesting. Then I go to this next area here. Darker around the edge, medium pressure to super light pressure. And go back over there if I see a lot of lines, and then smudge, okay? And let's say I'm even further. So I have these sections, so I have like 2 layers. Now, if you're really feeling like a challenge, you can add another layer, okay? So when you're doing this, you're only gonna draw it within the shapes, the second round of shapes. So within the second like layer of fabric, if you will. So in here, I can have a shape, let's say right here, maybe right there. So I have to stay inside. Maybe I'm gonna have a shape right in here, maybe one like that. And then maybe this one will have a shape like this, okay? And then just like we did before, darker on the outside, and then lighten it up, okay? And this is just gonna give you an effect that you have layers and layers and layers, almost like you're looking in some sort of webbed area, and you're just seeing just the top layers the most clear, and it gets kind of a little more blended, a little darker as you go farther and farther away from the viewer. So this is just an excellent practice, I think, for shading, and you're gonna get some really cool depth, okay, with this. So just make sure you're coloring around the outside edges, the darker shade, I should say shading instead of coloring, and then lighten up your pressure as you go into the center, okay? And this is a project that can go on, but I know time is not going to allow us to go on and on. So I hope you have fun with this. I don't want you to stress out. If you just do the first layer and you're practicing shading, I'm happy, because shading, the more practice with that, the better, okay? Because it's not the easiest thing to do. So that's why we're doing this small mini paper, so that it will go a lot faster than if we already use a large sheet of paper. Okay, so have fun with this, do your best work, and if, like I said earlier, if all you get to is layer one, all those shaded in like this, I'm happy, okay? And then here's one that's completely finished. I hope you have fun with this, enjoy your shading, and obviously wash your hands afterwards. Bye.